The EU's platform against poverty and social exclusion discussed during a MEUSAC seminar. The European Platform Against Poverty and Social Exclusion was the main theme discussed during a seminar held on November 16. This seminar was the last in a series of thematic seminars on the Europe 2020 strategy for smart, sustainable and inclusive growth. The information measure is being implemented by MEUSAC under the Management Partnership Agreement with the European Commission. With the financial crisis having had a great impact on the income of vulnerable groups due to the increase in unemployment, particularly among young persons, migrants and the low-skilled workers, people in these categories are having to rely on temporary and low-paid jobs and consequently are living in substandard conditions. The European Commission has, thus, placed the fight against poverty at the heart of its economic, employment and social agenda and aims to lift at least 20 million people in the EU out of poverty and social exclusion in the next decade. The seminar addressed the challenges faced by persons who are at risk of falling into the poverty trap, as well as the necessary initiatives that may contribute towards achieving the Europe 2020 targets. During the seminar, 4 workshops were held dealing with the following themes: overcoming discrimination, the challenge of an aging society, social innovation for supporting vulnerable groups, promoting shared responsibility in combating poverty and social exclusion. The keynote speaker during the seminar was George Sultana, EU Affairs and Policy Development Director at the Ministry of Education, Employment and Family, who presented the EU Platform Against Poverty and Social Exclusion and Malta's targets in view of the Europe 2020 strategy. He said that the platform sets out as many as 64 actions to address poverty and social exclusion in areas ranging from employment and education to sport and tourism. He emphasized the main aspects of the platform, namely the importance of shifting from a culture of dependency on social welfare services towards a culture whereby individuals are given the necessary skills to contribute to society. Mr. Sultana also explained Malta's commitment to lift persons from the risk of poverty and social exclusion by 2020. This will be achieved through actions addressing child poverty, pension reforms, supplementary allowance, active participation of persons with disabilities in the labour market, support services to jobless households, and finally, employability training programs. Each of the workshops tackled various aspects of poverty and social exclusion, and participants had the opportunity to put forward a number of recommendations which will eventually be included in a publication to be distributed to the general public in the coming months. The final event of this information measure will be a national conference to be organized on November 30. The Management Partnership Agreement is intended to strengthen cooperation in information and awareness-raising activities aimed at the general public by providing a framework for interinstitutional cooperation between the national authorities, the European Commission and the European Parliament. The operations are implemented by MEUSAC and are funded by the European Commission, Director General Communication.